Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we've got something pretty interesting for you. We're going to trace this single ancient word, root. And believe it or not, it connects words like critic, crime, and even secret.
It does sound a bit like a magic trick, doesn't it? But it's all there in the history.
So where do we start? Way back, I assume.
Way back, we're talking Proto-Indo-European, PIE. The root we're looking at is krei.
Krei. Okay. And its meaning was simple.
Yeah, really simple and physical. It meant to sift, separate, or decide. Picture using an actual sieve, separating
Yeah.
grain from chaff, sorting things.
Okay, I get that. Sorting things out, like making a distinction.
Exactly. And that core idea, that physical act of separating, it just branched out into all these concepts: judgment, law, privacy even.
Let's follow one of those branches then. How about the Greek one first?
Good place to start. So krei goes into Greek, and it becomes things like krinein or kritas. And here, the emphasis really lands on, well, judging, deciding, evaluating ideas.
Ah, so that's where critic comes from.
Directly. A kritis was a judge. A critic is someone who separates the good from the bad. They judge the value.
Like a movie critic looking at the story, or maybe a professor using criteria for an essay.
Precisely. And that word criterion, same root. It's the standard you use for judging, the basis for separation.
So it's interesting, isn't it? Criticism isn't inherently negative then. It's just about sorting, defining.
That's a really key point.
Yeah.
It's about separation at a crucial point, which also gives us the word crisis.
A crisis as a turning point, a point where you have to decide to separate one path from another.
Exactly. A moment that demands judgment.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense for the Greek side. Let's shift gears. What about Latin?
Right, the second major branch. This comes through the Latin word cerner.
Cernere. Did the meaning change much?
It stayed pretty close, actually. Still about sifting, but also about perceiving, seeing clearly.
So like discerning something.
You got it. Discern comes straight from cernere. When you discern something, say lights in the distance, you're mentally separating them from the background. You're perceiving the difference.
Okay, perception sifting. But how on earth does secret fit in? That feels like a jump.
It does seem like it, but check this out. Secret comes from Latin "succernere." You see the cernere part in there? It means to separate. And that prefix, it means apart.
Ah, so cernere literally means to separate apart.
Exactly. Something secret is something that's been intentionally set apart, hidden from view, separated from common knowledge.
Wow. So keeping birthday plans secret is literally setting them apart. The same core idea, separation.
Precisely. It's separation, but for privacy this time.
Okay, so we have judgment from Greek and perception and secrets from Latin. Now, crime, that feels different again. Darker.
It is the final major shift, yeah. This also comes through Latin via the word crimen.
Crimen? Did that originally mean crime as we know it?
Not exactly. Initially, crimen in Latin was more about the judgment itself, or maybe the decision in a legal case, still linked to separating, deciding.
But it shifted.
It did. As it moved, likely through French into English, the meaning sort of slid. It went from focusing on the act of judging to focusing on the thing being judged negatively, the accusation, the fault, the offense.
So it became the bad act itself, the thing that needed judging and separating out as wrong.
That's the idea. And that gives us crime, an act against the law, like theft. And criminal, the person associated with that fault.
This is actually pretty amazing, seeing how that one simple action to sift connects all these dots.
And think about this, for you listening. Knowing this root, krei, it's like having a master key, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It unlocks a whole family of words.
So now when you see words with crit or crim or cern or even secret, you have a clue. You know there's likely some underlying idea of separating, judging, deciding, or maybe setting apart.
It makes vocabulary feel less random, more like a system you can figure out.
It really does. And you see it everywhere. Think about discriminant. Same root, right? Separating based on criteria. Sometimes that's neutral, sometimes, well, it's negative, based on unfair separation. But the root action is still there, sorting.
It's incredible. That basic act of sifting, separating good from bad, known from hidden, guilty from innocent, it fundamentally shapes how we describe our world.
It defines our understanding in many ways.
So here's a final thought to maybe chew on. If so much of our language for defining the world, law, quality, privacy, comes from this act of separating, what does that say about how we build connections? Can things that started by being pulled apart ever truly feel whole again?